Separated coalitions and line prides, new fights and injuries, a happy reunion and the tragic death of a young lioness. All of that and more in this update. The northern parts of Sabi Sand undergoes big changes caused by the arrival of the Plainscamp males. The two brothers shook up the line dynamics of the entire region, and the consequences are already playing out. After these two had chased the Kambula males numerous times out of the western sector, they discovered that there are lionesses to mate with, and for now 3 Nkuhuma lionesses are willing partners. The subadults, on the other hand, especially the young male, do not feel safe in their presence. They were staying away, preferring the company of the Talamati male, who has not only found some new companions, but also tasted the sweet scent of little amber and estrus. The young Nkuhuma males seem to go along well with him, which is a good sign since he is the only male amongst the subadults. The Kambulas, who are on a 1 step forward and 2 steps back pattern, came under pressure and moved further east. The 2 males who got attacked in April have fully recovered from their injuries, but still lack the confidence to push back on the Plainscamp males' advances. Their sister is still with them, and I wonder what will happen to her if they eventually become dominant. Their former rivals, the Blackdam males, also had some unfriendly encounters with the Plainscamp males, who possibly injured one of them. The injured brother was found alone, limping badly on his left side. It's not known how he got the injury, but his left hind leg doesn't look good at all. Latest reports showed the males being separated, which is not good news for the injured brother. Physically, the other Blackdam male looks absolutely fine, although he is also sporting some battle scars. To everyone's surprise, last week he had an encounter with the young Talamati male who towered over him. Fortunately, there was no fighting, and both males parted ways unharmed. Let's hope the 2 brothers find their way back together and the injured brother is able to recover soon. All the while, the Plainscamp males argued heavily over mating rights, which left one of the brothers with a nasty wound on his eye. When the lionesses tried to avoid the drama, they got chased from one part of the reserve to the other. The movements of the Plainscamp males were astonishing. They traveled back and forth between the Nkuhumas and the Ximunghwe pride. In conclusion, the Plainscamp males have totally taken the driver's seat. They displaced the Kambula males, injured one of the Blackdam males, and split up the Nkuhuma pride. The Ximunghwe pride hasn't felt the consequences of the new line dynamics yet. In between mating, the males spend a lot of time with the pride. Nevertheless, the 2 Ximunghwe lionesses doing exceptionally well for themselves and were found on a large kudu kill which had later been finished off by the Plainscamp males. The 2 cubs becoming stronger every day and look as healthy as ever. They look almost as big as the 6-month-older cubs from the Mhangeni pride, who have to fight hard for their share on a kill. Back in April, the cubs and the older lionesses had been looking quite lean. Shortage of food is always a bigger problem for the young and the old. However, in May they had a number of big kills. They were also lucky to find a dead buffalo in Singita, and a couple of days later they stumbled upon a hippo carcass in Londolozi. The Mhangenis haven't gotten much attention from the Plainscamp males lately. But for now, they are doing well, and let's hope it stays that way, taking into account they've got new company in their territory with the Nkuhuma and Tumbela male. After a short stint in the south, it looks like they have found their footing with one another. On that note, the sighting where Tumbela was seen mating with the lioness in the south turned out to be an Nkuhuma male. For now, the big question is if and to which extent the pair is going to shake up the Mhangeni pride, who is mostly seen in the southern reaches of the western sector. South of the Sand River is an area where the Plainscamp males do not patrol as often as they used to, which could make these two think this area is there for the taking. Anyways, it's a dangerous game. The Plainscamp males are not too far away. They could hear their roars and they could return at any time. Until late May, Tumbela+Nkuhuma looked very content with one another, and it was nice to see that their bond got stronger. Having said that, news reports indicated that they got split up after a fight with the Gijimas. As in many incidents before, the fight had not been witnessed. 2 days ago, Tumbela was seen alone and injured, but well enough to steal a zebra kill from the Mhangeni pride. In the meantime, his partner was seen with a full belly and only minor scratches. Let's hope the pair will overcome their first stress test and will find their way back together. Richnose youngsters are under the protection of the Plainscamp males, and they surprisingly followed their father's movements to the north, what made rangers ID them accidentally for the Talamatis. They were found feeding on a large giraffe carcass in Elephant Plains until the Nkuhuma pride showed up and chased them off. However, the Nkuhumas couldn't enjoy the spoils for much longer when the Plainscamp males put an end to the feast. And lo and behold, the next day Richnose youngsters were back and continued feeding. But these two not only live off carcasses they stumble upon, they are perfectly capable of hunting for themselves. Richnose taught them everything to survive. She must be so proud of them. The same applies to the Othawa lionesses who shockingly got separated for quite a long time. For nearly 3 weeks we had only footage of one sister looking for the other, which gave great reason for concern. But then finally footage of the other lioness with the clipped ear had been shared on social media. She had a minor injury but otherwise seemed to be okay, and to everyone's relief, 2 days later the sisters were reunited. The backstory of their separation was that they had been chased by other lions, which could have been the Ximunghwes and or the Plainscamp males, but I wouldn't rule out the Mhangenis either. Whoever drove them apart, the most important thing is that they are back together and both of them are fine. Reunited, they just ran into another adventure involving a clan of hyenas. But the two girls didn't budge and stood their ground. They are over 3 years old now and every day brings them closer to adulthood. The greatest danger right now is for them to have a run-in with other lion prides, so let's hope they stay safe in the future. The Talamatis mostly stayed away from the action in the north. They spent a good amount of time in Singita and later moved into Buffelshoek, crossing into Mhangeni. And what is most noteworthy, their hunting success continues and all the members are in top condition. The most precious cubs we are eager to see are still hidden in Singita. The Tsalala lioness, who had given birth at the beginning of May, still keeps her cubs tucked away in a rocky outcrop near Boulder's Lodge. It looks like she had chosen the perfect spot to hide them. She's hunting at daytime and watches over them at night. The fathers of these cubs are the Plainscamp males, and they haven't seen their new offspring yet. However, their track record as caring fathers is pretty impressive, so let's hope they'll continue to fulfill their duties. And if we get lucky, we'll see footage of her cubs in the next update. The Kambula pride with their 13 cubs, who can be called sabidals by now, are doing extremely well. This footage taken mid-May in Londolozi shows how the youngsters are already getting involved in the hunt, and with so many mouths to feed, the mothers are doing a fine job. Their younger cousins of the Ntsevu pride are doing well themselves, and now that they are older, they're moving more and more with the pride. The lioness K2, who has been seen heavily pregnant at the beginning of May, must have given birth by now. So let's hope we get some confirmation in the upcoming weeks that I will share in the next update. More good news reached us from the south when the two missing Msuthlu cubs, who haven't been seen in April, eventually reunited with their cousins and were seen with one of their fathers at the beginning of May. This brings the cub count back to 7, with only one lioness who hasn't given birth yet. Last week, 4 lionesses and 7 cubs were found on a zebra kill, with all cubs looking strong and healthy. The young Styx lionesses also have come to slowly accept the Gijima males, and one of them was already seen mating mid-May. Considering they are at the same age as the Othawa lionesses, her estrus cycle kicked in quite early. At the time this footage had been taken, no one could have known that her coming into estrus would become her death trap. 2 days ago, sad news reached us from the south, when she had been found badly injured after a vicious attack from the Msuthlu pride. Even though she had survived the attack, the injuries turned out to be fatal. 3 lion prides share the southwestern corner of Sabi Sand, and 2 of them have young cubs to protect. The Styx are nomads at the moment, and they need to find a place for themselves where they can raise their future offspring in relative safety. While this tragedy unfolded, the other Styx lionesses went further east and attracted the Nkulu males, but they showed no interest at all in spending time with them. The line dynamics in the south also pose a danger for the young Styx male. As in previous months, he spends most of his time on his own, linking up with his family only when other males are not around. There are no news on the oldest Styx lioness, who was said to be pregnant again. It would be difficult for her to raise a new litter, where she already had lost 2 in prior months. So let's hope this time it works out for her. Further south, the newest members of the Southern Pride have been revealed. This photo was taken at the den, and there are at least 2 new cubs. The cubs' ages vary between 15 and 5 months, with the youngest who are about 6 to 7 weeks old by now. All the cubs are doing pretty well, and it won't take long until the youngest are introduced to the pride. Even though their fathers have to move large distances between the prides, they manage well. On one of their patrols they came across 2 young nomads who are said to be the sons of the Charleston males. If the ID is correct, they are about 4 years old and were born into a pride called S65. Last week a report came out that the 2 youngsters were involved in a fight with the Gijimas, which left one of them with a bleeding gum. But let's not forget the alleged incident with the Tumbela+Nkuhuma coalition, which had not been witnessed, but these boys were also seen in the same area the day before. Whoever it was, the Gijimas have 14 cubs to protect, so let's hope they made their point. After months and months of waiting, we finally got to see the first Nkuhuma cubs in May. The cubs should be around 12 weeks old by now, and it's highly likely that there are more to come. In regards to the coalition, the males 1, 2 and 5 formed one group and stays mostly with the Sand River Pride. While male 3 and 6 moved back into Kruger. It's noteworthy that the 3 males who had some health issues in previous months looked in very good condition. However, some of them lost a big chunk of their mane, which is most likely caused by stress, but could also be some illness we don't know about. Unfortunately, there was no sighting of Nkuhuma male number 4, who had been seen last time in April in dire condition. So let's hope he's okay and he will reunite soon with his brothers. I'm really pleased to share good news about the southern Avoca male who still got what it takes. He was seen throughout May in very good condition, and in one incident he came very close to Mohawk and his sons. Even though it didn't come to the reunion most of us were hoping for, he proves to be the fighter he has always been. He has made at least 3 buffalo kills in the last couple of weeks, one of which got stolen back in April by the Kambulas. This was filmed a couple of days ago in Nkuhuma, when he separated a buffalo cow from the herd and made a textbook kill. I'm so in awe of this courageous male, and I do hope that this success gives him strength for the future. All the while, Mohawk did reunite with his sons and was seen with them on a kill. He then parted ways again and crossed Sabi Sand from south to the north. And by the end of May he arrived in decent condition on his old stomping grounds. All the while, his sons were seen with a lioness in Kruger, which undoubtedly is for him the better place to be right now. So let's hope he gets back to his sons, and we'll see how this plays out in the future.